Hi everyone, good to have you here. This is E Plus Academic Resource Center where we take online tutorials for undergraduates and senior secondary students. Good to have you in class today. If you're joining us for the first time, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us, okay? Kindly invite other people to be part of what we're doing. Subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you get notified when we upload new classes, okay? Feel comfortable, use the comment section, ask questions where you don't understand. This is where we learn together and we equip ourselves with academic knowledge, okay? All right, thank you for joining. All right, today we'll be looking at business finance, the sinking fund. We have done some introduction on our TikTok page. So this is the full class, okay? And we hope to complete the class today. All right, sinking fund is not something will take that long. Yeah, it's very simple and straightforward subject, okay? All right, and lest I forget, I always mention anyway, that on our Facebook, what is it called? YouTube channel. Yes, business finance, business math, and project evaluation are together as one in a single playlist. So don't get confused, okay? Their subjects are similar and interwoven, okay? Business finance, project evaluation, and business math. So if I use any of the name interchangeably, please don't get confused, okay? Are we together? So now, when we say sinking fund, what is sinking fund? Now, sinking fund is simply when you build up some certain amount of money to pay for a loan or cater for a future project or making provision for to actually maybe pay for something or set off a debt in the future or something like that. Just simply when you build up money, you build up capital, you build up an amount, a huge sum of amount. For instance, if I want to buy a car in 2025, if I want to buy a car in 2028, okay, and by 2028 that car will cost about 30 million naira, okay. So from now, I have to calculate from now to 2028, how many years is it, and how many times in a year should I have to, make this, build up this money. If I want to be doing it quarterly or maybe twice in a year. So how much am I, okay, let's assume I want to do it twice in a year. Let's say from now to 2028 is like 3 years. Let's say 3 years, okay. So if I want to make that payment twice in a month, twice in a year, sorry. So that is to say, if it's 3 years, that is to say I have to make 6 equal payments. 6 equal payments, because twice in a year will give us 6 equal payments in 3 years, okay? So if I do twice in a year, so how much am I supposed to be putting in a sinking fund account every 2 times every year? How much am I supposed to be? That is what we're trying to find out, okay? How much am I supposed to be putting in a sinking fund account twice in a year for 3 years so I can be able to buy my car in 2028? It can be a loan, you want to set up a loan. It can be you want to build a house or something else, a project in the future. Are we together? All right. So sinking fund formula is giving us M is equal to AI all over bracket open 1 plus I, okay, raised to power N minus 1. Are we together? So now, M here is the sinking fund amount, the equal amounts that I'm supposed to be putting in the sinking fund account. That is what M represents. What is that equal amount that I'm supposed to be putting every number of times, okay, to build up a sinking fund to pay for a debt or loan in the future? That is what M represents. Then A here is that amount I needed, the exact amount I needed in that future. The exact amount I needed to pay off that loan or buy that asset. That is what A stands for, okay? Get the difference. This M is that equal amount that instrumental amount I'm supposed to be making, okay? While A is the total sum, is that actual money we are looking for. That is what A stands for, that actual sum we're looking for to execute that project, okay? Then I here has to do with, I here is equal to R over what? N. R here is the rate, okay? R here is the rate, while N here is the number of times in a year. Listen now, number of times in a year. If I say biannually, what do I mean? Twice in a year. If I say quarterly, what do I mean? 4 times in a year. If I say weekly, what do I mean? 52 times in a year. If I say monthly, what do I mean? 12 times in a year. So n here is the number of times in a year. The number of times in a year, okay? Then this big N here stands for N times T, okay? N here is the number of times in a year. We know that already. Number of times in a year, okay? We know that already. Then T here is the year. The year, how many years, not number of times in a year. Now get the difference. The T here is the years, the number in years. While N here is the number of times in a year. Okay, if I say 5 years, 5 years stands for, the T here stands for that 5 years. If I say biannually for 5 years, biannually for 5 years, biannually here is the N, which is twice in a year. Then that 5 years here is the T. I hope we're clear on that. Okay, all right, so that's what is. So now, but how do we get this formula? You know, if you remember our annuity, ordinary annuity formula, where we have A is equal to M, okay, open bracket, 1 plus I raised to power N minus 1 all over I, okay? This is our annuity. Remember our ordinary annuity formula. Okay, that was how we got this formula for sinking fund. We'll just have to make M subject of formula. Okay, we'll make M subject of formula. That is how we got this. Okay, where we have, okay, let's say we make M subject of formula. We have AM 1 plus I raised to power N minus 1, okay, all over I. Okay, this all over I, cross multiply. We're trying to make M subject of formula, and I'm showing you how we got this formula for sinking fund. So we have A times I will give us AI equal to M, okay, sorry, this is over 1, not I. Okay, so 1 times this will give us M bracket open 1 plus I all over N minus 1, okay? So divide both sides by what? 1 plus I open close bracket raised to power N minus 1, 1 plus I open bracket close N minus 1. So this strike off this, so M is equal to A over AI all over 1 open bracket plus I close bracket raised to power N minus 1. That is what we have here. Are we together? All right, so I'm going to wipe this off so that we solve one question and get a better understanding. Are we together? I have 2 questions here, okay? I have 2 questions. I'm going to solve one, then the other one, you attempt it, okay? Let me know if you really understand what we're talking about. So I'm going to solve one, then the other one you attempt it. Please use the comment section where you don't understand. We're going to bring clarity. Are we together? Okay, now this question says, Mr. Chinedu wishes, I will share the question on the screen, don't worry. I will share it also on our Facebook, the comment section of our Facebook page. I will share these questions there. So if you can't access it from our YouTube channel, you can access it from our Facebook page. Are we together? All right. So Mr. Chinedu wishes to create a sinking fund to pay off his loans of 1 million naira at 8% interest compounded annually in 3 years. Understand it now. Understand this question. Mr. Chinedu is owing, want to pay off his loan of 1 million naira compounded at 8% interest annually in 3 years. He was owing, he borrowed 1 million to do a project. So he wants to pay that back with that 1 million. Remember, loans come with interest, okay? So if he's paying back, he's not paying 1 million. He's going to pay higher, including interest. Are we together? Now, the question moves forward. He said, if his sinking fund pays 12% interest compounded and semi-annually, what is his semi-annual deposit into the fund? Prepare a schedule to show the growth of his fund in 3 years. Now, there are 2 sections in this question. There are 2 sections. One section, they are trying to show us that Mr. Chinedu actually borrowed money to execute a project. Okay, he borrowed 1 million to execute a project. And he's supposed to pay back after 3 years. Okay, now the second part of the question is trying to tell us, okay, how much is Mr. Chinedu expected to pay in his sinking fund account so I can pay that loan which he borrowed. Are we together? So now, okay. So this second question, I'm going to share it on the screen so that you see it. And after we attempt this one, you're going to attempt the other one yourself. Now, after we solve this question, we are going to prepare what we call a schedule to show us how we got how we realize this amount Mr. Chinedu is supposed to pay. Are we together? So this is how we solve it. So let's first of all find the amounts Mr. Chinedu is owing by our compound interest formula. Okay, our compound interest formula. So we have solution. Okay, so it says Mr. Chinedu wishes to create a sinking fund account to pay his loan of 1 million. That means he borrowed 1 million at 8% interest compounded annually. Okay, in 3 years. Okay, so our compound interest formula first, 1 plus I raised to power n. Okay, are we together? So A here is equal to, he borrowed 1 million. Okay, 1 million, yeah, open brackets, 1 plus I here, remember I is equal to R over N. Okay, the rate here is 8%. Sorry, let me get my calculator. Okay, so the rate here is, the I here is R over N, which is what? R over N here will give us 0.08 all over number of times interest is compounded, which is how many times to pay off his loan of 1 million at 8% interest compounded annually. That is once in a year. So here we have 0.08. Okay, and here is equal to n times t, number of times, which is 1 times the year, which is also 3. Okay, so 1 times 3 will give us 3. Are we together? So A is equal to 1 million. Okay, open bracket, 1 plus this will give us 1.08 raised to power 3. Okay, so A is equal to 1 million. Okay, open bracket, 1.08 raised to power of 3. We have 1.2. Okay, 1.259712. Okay, so let's times it by 1 million. Okay, times 1 million. So we have A is equal to 1,259,712. Are we together? 1,259,712. That is what Mr. Chinedu is expected to pay back after 3 years. Now let's now solve for our sinking fund account. Okay, let's know how much Mr. Chinedu is supposed to be paying in a sinking fund account to pay off this loan, to pay off these debts in 3 years' time. Are we together? Okay, so now we have our formula. Remember our sinking fund formula, okay, where we have M is equal to AI, okay, 1 plus I raised to power n minus 1. Are we together? So M is equal to the amount here, this the amount you're supposed to pay, which is this 1,259,000, okay, 712 times I here. Remember I is equal to R over N. Okay, now R here, the sinking fund rate is 12%, okay? Compounded semi-annually. Semi-annually is 2 times in a year. So 12% will give us 12 divided by 100 is 0.12 all over. Semi-annually is 2 times in a year. Okay? 2. Semi-annually is 2 times in a year. Okay? So 0.12 divided by 2. 0.12 divided by 2 will give us 0.06. So here is what? 0.06 all over 1 plus I here is what? 0.06. Okay, then n here, remember n is equal to n times t, so this will give us 2 times, how many times in a year? 3 years. 2 times 3, which is equal to 6. Are we together? So we have raised to power of what? 6. minus 1. So m is equal to, okay, let's continue. 59712 times 0.06 all over this plus this will give us 1.06, okay? 1.06. This plus this, okay? 1.06. 1.06. Then let's raise it by 6. Okay, raised to the power of 6 will give us 1.41851911. Let's stop here. Minus 1. So m is equal to this times this. Okay, 1259712 times 0.06. We have 75,582.72 divide by, okay, divide by 1.06 raised to the power of 6, okay, which is equal to minus 1. 0.418519111. Let's stop here. Okay, so let's do the division now. So 75582.72 divide by 0.41851911. We have m equal to 180, then 595.62. Let's stop there. So this is the amount that Mr. Chinedu is supposed to be paying in a sinking fund account, okay, for 3 years, twice every year for 3 years before he can pay off this loan. So let's confirm by doing what we call the sinking fund schedule. Let's confirm if what we have is correct. Are we together? Please use the comment section if you don't understand. Subscribe if you're getting value. Share this video so that other students or other good learners or people who are finding opportunities like this to increase their knowledge and know more can have access to this video and join us. Are we together? Let's continue.